Hey guys, Pastor Mike here. And I just want to say thank you so much for your giving of your time and your resources and your finances this past year into the cause. God has done so many things. And so as we move forward and look into 2021 and this year's behind us, I just want to share a few things. And in 2021, I want to challenge us, I want to challenge me in thinking a little bit differently about our giving. And so many times we think about a budget and giving just to make sure the organization is going to continue to run. And I'll be honest, God did not call us just to have an organization to continue to run or support. He's called us to advance the kingdom. And so I want to just put this little thought in your mind is that, are we giving to the budget or are we giving to a vision? And I would hope that whenever you write a check or whether you give electronically, that you're giving to the vision. I'll be honest, when I write my check, and yes, I'm still old-fashioned. I love writing the check and just kind of a reminder of why I do what we do. But even at that, it can become very mechanical. Either if I give electronically or I check, well, it's just what I do. And I sometimes forget the reasoning why I give. And I just want to encourage you and let you know that every dollar goes to a purpose and help us advance the gospel, either through administration or missions or ministry. And so, but one thing I'm going to try to do better is just to be mindful. And as I write those checks and as I give, is to be reminded and pray, God, would every single penny of this go to glorify you? And so I've got to change my thinking, is that I'm giving not to a bank account, not giving to a budget. I am giving to a vision that God has given Church Inside Out and Mobile Missions Network. So that's my challenge for us is let's give to a vision. And this vision, the difference between a budget and a vision is a budget it's confined to a paper. It's confined by four boundaries. But with a vision, man, God can do anything. And so, God, would you take the funds, would you take our resources, and would you multiply that? Because, man, there's so many places where the gospel is not here in the Tulsa metro area that we want to get to. And he's going to use our house churches and he use our missions organization, the Mobile Missions Network, to do that. And so let's maybe think differently in that we are giving to a vision, not necessarily to a budget. It's not just going to account, but it's going to help change lives. And in that, I want us to rethink about what has happened this past year. A lot of great things. I'm not going to be able to get to all of it. Here's just a few highlights. Number one is we were able to start our Church Inside Out Kids back on Wednesday nights, and it's been fantastic. We've had a great time. Our students got to go to camp. We also got to bless our high school seniors with a senior trip during the COVID season. 5 churches, house churches were launched in October. 2 more, and hopefully more are going to come this next year at Valley Brook and Southfield. We had 22 salvations in our Camp Inside Out in our communities during spring break and summer. We had 11 students that were called, they came and served with us, and 11 students were called to ministry. 7 resurrendered their lives to Christ. We had over 70 individuals from various churches come and serve with us this year. We had 11 communities that were reached with the gospel through the Tulsa metro area. We had 73 staff and volunteers locally that served with us in some capacity here through Church Inside Out Mobile Missions Network. We had 487 lunches that were served in our communities at Camp Inside Out. We had over 110 kids ministered to in our camps, and we were able to reach over 120 kids through our Angel Tree this year. And we fed over 617 people on our Thursday night dinners. And you're thinking, well, gave them a hot dog, gave them a Frito chili pie. What's the big deal about that? Can I just tell you, that's the world of difference, and it helps us just to continue the conversation. So every single drink that was poured, every hot dog that was served, every snow cone that was given was, again, an opportunity to pray with people and an opportunity to share the gospel. And so we are seeing the fruit of that. And so I want to say thank you. It's not just about feeding people, but more importantly, it's letting them see and hear about the bread of life. So again, reminding us is to give to the vision. And you gave to the vision this past year. I'm going to get to the budget here in a minute. If you're considering year-end giving, man, we want to get ahead and move towards the vision of 2021. So make sure that's postmarked by December the 31st. You can give electronically or through the mail. You can talk to Danielle. But if you're considering to giving a year-end gift, man, we would truly appreciate that to get us a little bit ahead. And just know that your gift is going to go to a good cause. And I would encourage us as a church family to give extravagantly this year through our time and our finances, and maybe you're able to do that at the end of the year this time. We would be so blessed by that. So thank you in advance. So I want to talk a little about 2021, and I'm going to give more details on January 3rd when we have our Vision Sunday. We're going to gather back. But our vision for 2021 is to be a family of missionary servants sent to a particular place to make disciples who make disciples in everyday life. And I'll share more about that on the 3rd. But we want to be a family of missionary servants sent. Maybe it's to a neighborhood, it's a mobile home community. And Psalms 119, 105 is going to be one of our theme verses. Your word is a lamp to guide my feet and a light for my path. And then Jeremiah 29:7, seek the welfare of the city I have deported you to. Pray to the Lord on its behalf, for when it thrives, you will thrive. And I'll kind of embellish on that and go more in detail on those scriptures. But this is what God has called us to. And my question for us as a body, what if there's a remnant of people called Church Inside Out who truly live biblically and ask, what would Jesus do? And what would Jesus do in our lives, in our home, our businesses, our city? And so I'm really excited about what God's going to do. Here's going to be 3 priorities for 2021. Number 1 is our house churches. And let me just say, we're gonna put the pedal to the metal. We're going to continue to move forward. We are not stopping. There's a lot of churches that have stopped doing ministry. We are not, and we have not. But our 3 priorities is house churches. This past semester, we've been in the season of establishing a rhythm, and I think we've got that. And so our second phase of our house churches is mission. And so three priorities for our house churches is the gospel, mission, and community. And community is starting to happen, and that's probably one of the greatest testimonies from our house churches is that. But we don't want to just stop at just doing a holy huddle. God has called our house churches to make a difference in their neighborhood and in our community. And so we're going to encourage each of our house churches to adopt one of our mobile home parks. And we'll do that will be one of the significant things that we do, get everything shored up and foundational in those communities. And then we're going to encourage them to adopt one of our national or international missionaries, Ryan and Michelle in Japan, Stephen Sonder, who's walking the cross, Megan Dobrinsky, who's serving in Las Vegas, and Alex and Diana Alberto, and Elliot and Aliana in Mexico. And so those are the 4 that we are going to continue to just keep in front of us. Of course, there's also some other missions and ministries we're going to help, and I'll share some more about that. But we want to make sure that these 4 particular missionaries that are nationally and internationally are not forgotten. And so each house church is going to adopt one of those. And we'll give you more details coming. But our next phase of house church is mission. We're gonna go. Our second priority is, of course, our mobile home communities. We stretched ourselves so thin, doing so many things, and not many people were engaged at all with anything, that we've just kind of shore up, and we want to make sure we do well with what God has given us. And so we're going to make a strategic effort this year to go into our mobile homes and do more to bless the people and make disciples who make disciples. We're going to be having Earl and Kristen. They've moved into Valley Brook, and we're going to have missionaries on site who will be there 24/7, which will allow us to be able to do more and reach more people. And then we're also going to have another couple move into Southfield, probably June or July. So be praying for that. And we're thinking that this will help us have a better handle and opportunity to minister in those communities. And our third priority is finding a home base for Mobile Missions Network and Church Inside Out. One of the greatest blessings that we've had over this past year and a half is our partnership with Angus Church. They have gone above and beyond to really allow us to do whatever we need to do to pursue people with the gospel. And so, but with that, we're gonna pray for a property in Sapulpa that we can use 24/7 to house our mission teams, house our church, be able to do kids stuff. It'd be like a community center where a church meets, kind of like our mobile home parks. but would you pray with us for that priority this year? Want to change gears a little bit and talk about our budget. 2020, our budget was $252,959, and our budget is this year is going to be $243,913. You think, where does this go to? And so I want to share a little bit about that. 3 areas where our budget is specifically given to, and that's administration, ministry, and missions. So our administration, that covers things like insurance, for the facilities we're in. Anywhere we are, we're covered by our insurance. We put funds in, praying in faith that God's going to provide a home base for us. Digital subscriptions, phone, website, marketing, office supplies, salaries, volunteers, transportation, worship licenses, copyrights, Tithely, that's our finance mechanism, and Apple software. So that's the admin side. The ministry side covers things like Church Inside Out Kids, Church Inside Out students, our DNA groups, our house churches. I'll talk more about that. Some honorarium for Natalie and for Jacob, who help with worship, and our students. Our Sunday mornings, our mission trip hosting, so it'll go towards that. All these teams that come in, it goes towards that budget. All of our community centers, our utilities, lot rent, our honorariums, and our interns. And so that's what is covered through our ministry budget. And then our missions budget covers our missionaries like Steve and Sandra Epp, our Lake Sahoma ministry, Vine and Branches in Mexico, Angus Church, Shoulder to Shoulder, Starfish Enterprises, which has been started by Chad and Sherry Brawlier to the homeless, Kara, which is a ministry in North Tulsa, where Rob Lincoln helps. And then I want to say a special thank you to our partners, Oklahoma Baptist, Tulsa Metro Baptist Network, and the Church That Matters. They've been very faithful in supporting us over these last 3 years. Church That Matters is our partner church, who has been over backwards to help us. And so thank you to Pastor Rusty Gunn at Church That Matters for investing in us these last 3 years. Oklahoma Baptist, they've been so great, and Tulsa Metro Baptist Network, which will continue these partnerships with all 3. But our funding from the Oklahoma Baptist and Tulsa Metro Baptist comes to an end. So this past year, we've received $1,600 a month, and so that we will no longer receive that. And so we're praying that God will just replenish that, which is the importance of giving as well. But we're going to continue to give to the BGCO, our Oklahoma Baptist family, and our Tulsa Metro Baptist Network family as well. So that's what our missions covers. And you'll notice we've kind of shrunk down who we're giving to, so that we can just be more strategic and make sure we're doing well at supporting those God has called us to support. In addition to our missions, we have some international mission priorities, and here's some opportunities if COVID doesn't stop us. But our goal is to come alongside Ryan and Michelle in Japan. So hopefully August, September, we're going to make a trek there. We're also looking at establishing a partnership in Cuba, and then of course Las Vegas and Mexico. And Earl is going to be overseeing our international partnership, and the Mexico is going to happen pretty much almost every month or every other month. So there's going to be an opportunity for everybody to pursue mission. So our expenses so far have been $240,000. Our income is $234,000. So we're a little bit behind, but considering everything that we've been through, man, God has been such a good God. So blessed. He's provided for us. And so our savings right now is our savings at $79,000, and you're thinking, man, why are you holding that? And our goal for that is to save for when God does give us a home base. And so we just want to make sure we're good stewards of that. Our escrow savings is $3,039. That covers our insurance. Our Bob Thomason Scholarship Fund is $797. And our church plant fund is $5,009. So that's going to go towards new house church plants that we start. And then our food pantry is at $256. So it gives you a little bit of an idea of where we are financially. Again, our increases for this year in our budget is our house churches. Again, if God, we're praying God gives us a home base, and then our salaries are staying the same. Missionaries living on site, that's something new, and it's just an added increase of $4,600. We were gifted with some money this past year that's going to go towards the remainder of that, and so we believe that's going to help us continue the ministry there in Mounds. But I just wanted to give you a highlight of what God is doing, and just as we close, a reminder that when you give, that you're giving to a vision, not to an account. We're not trying to save Mobile Missions Network. We're trying to save people more than anything. And so, but I'm thankful that God has given us Mobile Missions Network and Church Inside Out to be the vehicle for that to happen. And so I just want to say thank you for being a part of that. And thank you for being a part of this crazy adventure. You guys have been so good and for me, just asking, Lord, what do you want us to do? Because as you know, this is not a cookie cutter approach that we approach ministry with. And so there's been some crazy things that God has asked us to do, and you guys have just followed. And so thank you for allowing me to just hear from the Lord, and our leaders hear from the Lord, and that's just to go after it. So I'm excited about what 2021 is going to have for us. I know it's not going to be easy, but you know what? The gospel is going to be advanced. And so I would ask that you pray. Number one is, how can we give to the cause? How can I give financially, with my time? And how can I be a part of that remnant that we ask, what would Jesus do? So God bless you. Thanks for allowing me to be your pastor. Thank you to our house church shepherds for helping us shepherd our church and our DNA group leaders. But we'll see you on Sunday. We're going to gather at Eagle Point at 10:30 for our check-in Sunday, our final gathering of the year. Ugly sweater contest, Mexican food, the word, worship. It's going to be really good. And we'll also have some things for the kids. So we'll see you on Sunday. God bless you. Bye.